Hello everyone, once again. We are starting webinar about Precast Concrete add-on for Revit. We will talk about detailed modeling of columns and beams in Revit. So today, me, Valensas Balsevicius, will be speaking and presenting this. I'm a structural and application engineer in AGACAD. Our company creates solutions already many years, and we sell to different countries all of these tools create, and we create them based on our user experience. So our aim is to reduce BIM stress the users may have in the practice. So we want to reduce that by creating solutions for them. Now these are the tools we create. We have a lot of tools for the framing, MEP guys, just simple tools for standard situations and management of different information in the project in the family browser. But today we will talk only about these solutions, about Precast Concrete. So what is Precast Concrete? It helps to create precast elements. It helps to insert details, cuts, connections, whatever you may think of, and then sort the main elements and then create automatic drawings with dimensions. So we have 5 solutions here. We have one floor panel for the precast floor to create precast floor, then smart walls to split walls into the panels, then smart details. I will talk about these 3 today, so smart details, connections, cuts, and details. It can handle that, and then sort mark to automatically sort, and smart assemblies to create drawings. In this webinar, we will see how to create automatic connections, how to modify and update them, how to sort beams and columns, and how to create drawings. So previously we had a couple of webinars, so you can find them on YouTube or ask for the link to see the record. So it was just a general session, then separately about slabs, separately about walls, and now about beams and columns. So let's go to Revit and see how it works. Live demo in Revit. So I will show you a couple of examples, just the concept of how it could be used and how it can help you. Okay, if you have questions during the webinar, so please write them in the chat and I will try to answer them later. So now I have models in my Revit. I have some columns, I have some beams created. Okay, I don't need these, maybe previously some details left. Okay, so now I will start from smart details. So this solution allows you to insert details on your elements. It might be different kind of elements. So the details, these are line-based or point-based details. They are placed based on configuration. So I click on configuration and here is the window where you define how to place your details, right? So in this window you can see you can select different kind of categories. Where do you want to with what elements do you want to work. Then configurations could be saved under different names. Okay, and then on the left side you see some tabs. I can go through them, and these tabs just represents the type of detail you want to insert. If this is the line-based details or this is the phase-based details. So actually, yeah, point-based or phase-based details, they are simple details defined by one inserting point, and this one is defined by 2 inserting points, right? So these are simple families. You can create them or you can take them from manufacturers. And what can you do here? In these tabs, you can define what kind of details and where they should be placed. So in this area, I select the type of detail I want to insert from the list of my families inside the project, or from this one. So I can just select the detail I want to insert. And when I decide where do I want to place it, on the left side, on the right side in this case, or on the top, on the bottom in that case, and so on. So I have many flipping options, cut and join options. So different kind of settings here. Then I have rules. How do I want to place that in one direction? So let me just show you like this. So in one direction, I choose the rule. How do I want to place it? By maximum spacing, maybe there's some offsets just based on this picture. And then in other direction, right? In this direction, how do I want to distribute these elements? So it could be cuts, it could be solids, it could be like this, it could be bolt or whatever you want. Then on this area, I have different kind of layout correction. So what does it mean is that I can search for elements, I can search for faces and look if there is enough place to insert the detail, or I can look for the elements. Then if I have intersection, let's say with selected category of elements, only then the detail will be placed, right? Then let's say if I will take a look to this one, I can select the rule how the elements are connected, right? So if the structural framing element is connected as a T connection to my column, then this detail will be inserted. If not, then this detail will not be inserted. So I define these rules as many as I want, right? So let's say in this area I have just this kind of detail, right? Inserted at the bottom, just in the center of my column and so on. So I prepare these configurations and I can place my details, distribute them on different kind of elements. So let's try to do that actually. So now I will select a couple of beams. Okay, maybe these also. And I will insert some details here. So I will select the configuration which I want to use, and I'll click on Insert. So now it will just place some details on all of these selected beams. So what I did, I just placed one cut at the ends and one element just as a lifters for this beam. Then let me just select a couple of columns, structural columns, insert details, and select from the list my configuration which I want to use in this case. Okay, so let's see the result. So now I have corbels just with a bolt. So the bolt could be shared family, right? So to make it scalable, this should be the same material, so we can have good quantities of a column and so on. And the joint look good. So you see that the number of columns depends on the number of beams I have and the direction of beams. So let's say in this situation I have like a corner with two beams, so I have only two corbels, right? In this situation I have 3 corbels, just because in my configuration I have defined that this corbel is inserted only if I have L type of connection with my beams. So L type, I mean like this, so it looks like L, right? And then do I have here T type? No. Okay, so now I have inserted a couple of details, right? So it looks pretty good, like a connection. But what if the size of my beam would change? So let me do that. And you see now, of course, my connections, they are not following because it's just I just changed the type of my beam, but I can easily fix that if I will select these columns and I will run the update. So you will see that now my corbels just moved down and my bolt was, the length of my bolt was increased, right? The beam actually, the cut is not coming through, but I can do the same. I can do the update and it will be fixed. But what I would like to do is I would like to change this detail, right? Also together with the update because the size of my beam changed. So I'll go to this window and I will just select different kind of family and I will run the update. So now you see these details have changed, and of course my hole was updated just to fit the size of my beam. So this is modification and update possibilities. And let's take a look to a couple of more examples, just how it could be used and where it could be used. So I will select a couple of beams. I will select insert details, and now again I will select different configuration, right? So I want to have this one. So just to give you an impression of what could be done and how it could be done. This time I have only just selected the different family for the end, and I will also insert detail for the columns. So column, beam to column by plates, probably this configuration. Okay, so what do I have now? So now I have different kind of corbel with some kind of bearing pad maybe. Then I have some plate and the detail to connect these elements, right? Then I have just different kind of just a plate at the top and the additional for the insert and so on. So okay, this is just another example. Then let's try to do that again in a different way. Maybe we can okay, maybe we can do it like this probably, and just insert details again. And for the beams I want to use this configuration. So again, it's a bit different, but it's quite an example. So at this time I have a little bit different vertical cut, and then I have this kind of void cut at the bottom. So what I want to do next, okay, so I would like to also insert this for the columns, right? So I'll do that. Columns, this one, and insert details, and this one. Just a different configuration, and again, different settings could give you different results. Okay, so I'll maybe zoom in a little bit. Over here, let's say I have yeah, the beam and the corbel. So this type of corbel, or I don't know, at the top I just decided to insert a different kind of corbel. So it's just if it's L connection, then I place this kind of corbel. If it's T connection, we have rule for the T connection, so it means like it looks like this, right? So it's somewhere in the middle. So we call it T, and then okay, good. So let's take a look to the last one. Maybe one of the features of Smart Details is that you can also create, let's say, select elements and click on auto insert. So what does it mean, auto insert? It will place details based on the configuration name, which is inside the properties of a beam. So this is the name of configuration, and I can use it. So it means my families already they can have the name of configuration, so I don't need to, pick from the list and so on. So every time to think and remember the configuration name. In this case, let's say this is the T connection, so I have used this kind of family, and this is L connection, so now I have used this kind of family, so I don't have the rebars to the top. Okay, so I can recognize this kind of situations and avoid manual work in this kind of situations. And again, of course, it just places these elements to the sides where it should be. What else would I like to talk about is you can actually mix automatic Smart Details placement and your manual work, right? So if you have placed some elements, you can of course later just switch over to a different family, right? And just select different type of it, or you can just delete selected details from the selected element. Then you can of course make individual changes, as I made this for this beam, right? But I didn't change the anything to these beams. Then of course if you place the elements and for some reason you need a little bit different situation than in other case, right? So maybe you can create your detail to be easily modified, like so you can go to the some properties and make some changes, right? So you can make that, but you can what you can do, you can just place your details in the desired position easily. And okay, so you saw how to place these elements, how to modify and update, but how actually does it work? And I would like to share another feature of it. So let's say now I have placed these details just by using in built-in feature to place this detail by gravity point, and just two of them with defined fixed spacing, right? But when I have different size of the beams, it might not work. So I can do it in different way. I can place these two details, but as you can see, this is different family and it's placed in the center of my beam. But why it was placed good for this beam and for this beam is because when the smart details have possibility to read information from the host element or from connected element, right? So if my beam it has cut length parameter, right? So when I create this family, I created special parameter which is called hashtag cut length. So now when I insert these details with smart details, it is reading the cut length value, right? And then it changed this cut length, the distance between my balls, and this A parameter is dependent on my cut length value. So that's why when I insert this detail, my cut length is changing, and also the distance from the end of the beam to the point of my element is changing. So that's why I can, make changes, automatic changes to my elements. And if I will select this family, you'll see that cut length this time is like this, and in this case, my cut length is totally different. So the distance is 0.25 from the full length. So I can use it in different ways, right? So let's say when I have changed the size of my beam and I did the update. So what happened is that this family is reading information from the beam. So if this beam is 1000 millimeter height, so my corbel was moved because inside the family I have created the distance from the inserting point is defined by this parameter, which is reading the height of the beam. So there are some rules how to create these parameters, but it's really simple. And in such case, you can make changes to your elements. Let's say if I just change the size of my column and I will do the update. So you see the column shoes. Now they are changing the dimensions because now they are reading the H and B of the column, and they are changing the size between the column shoes. So that's another, I think, good feature of smart details. And okay, maybe let's insert some details to the foundations. Yeah, you can do that also. Of course, smart details works with different categories. I showed that in previous webinars, so you can just take a look to them, to the records. Let's move on. Let's move forward. So now I have placed some details, I modeled some elements, right? And I want to renumber these columns. So now I have just a question mark. I will select these columns, filter the columns, right? Okay. And now I will use sort mark tool. Okay, now what you see here is a tools for BIM docs, so you can download it from our webpage and install any of our tools, have a trial, and so on. So let me just get back to this. Sort mark. So I select elements and I click on element numbering here, right? So click on mark, okay. And now I have some predefined configuration, how to number these elements, but I can create my own, right? So I will give it a name, sorting columns, let's say. Just give it a name, and then you have some tabs how to sort your elements. Maybe you want to group them, how to number them, let's say based on what parameters. So you can use, let's say, any of instance or type parameters, right? So let's say you can use volume, and if a column have different volume, then the mark value will be different. But actually what I would like to use is when I use the ID. So it means that all of my columns will have different mark values. Then subnumbering or additional subnumbering could be added when sorting, how to sort these columns, maybe by level, just mark all of the columns in first level and then mark all other columns in next level and so on. But what I would like to do is I would like to use coordinates of the columns. Okay, mark and sort mark. So now at the last one, I want to add actually the number. So just give some prefix, start numbering at 1, and just add this automatically calculated value. So I will just click on OK, and now 18 columns was renumbered. And now what I see is, okay, these are the numbers of my columns. Now these columns have mark value, right? So I have mark, PC1, PC2, and so on. So it's just marking just based on my selected coordinates method and that, that type of sorting of these elements. So, okay. Actually, maybe I would like to do this for all of my columns. Structural columns, element numbering. So I can do that for the selected elements or for the category. Okay, so 26 of them are renumbered. I would like to do the same for the beams actually. So I will select the beams, element numbering, and so you can save that configuration as you see, and you can use it later. Okay, this predefined configuration. So I will add this. Okay, precast beams, and I will just give them a number. Okay, some of them will have same mark values because they are maybe the same volume, the same length, and so on. So that's based on configurations. I would like to do that actually here. Okay, so what next? When we model it of our elements, when we sorted them, and then we want to create some drawings. So I will switch over to this one, so Smart Assemblies. Actually, why I drag some tools from the tab and some tools I use from this doc, you can select that. If you have element tool, if you click on here, you can just drag it from here and use it from here. So I'm just used to use some of the tools from the tab and some from the doc. So let's see. Smart Assemblies is a solution to create drawings, and how does it work is that you create your shop drawing configurations. Let me open that and just a few words about it. what we have in this window, again, you can define what kind of views, how many of views do you want to create. So different kind of sections, elevations, right? When you can select the view, you can create assembly view or the model view. You can use, just to add the name of a view, then you can use the view template which you want to use, right? Then dimension rule, assign just select the dimension rule for the selected view. What is dimension rule is, I will show you in this window. It's a rules how to dimension main element, how to dimension cuts in the main element, what size of cuts should be dimensioned, how they should be dimensioned, and how to dimension hosted metal details, hosted concrete details, how to dimension rebars, how to place the notes, what kind of information should be added here, maybe some properties should be added to a note, how and where to place your notes, right? So you prepare that in dimension rule and assign this to the view. Then there are some options for the tag elements, insert gravity point, insert grids, if they are crossing your element, then reverse element, how to orient it, maybe the beam should be oriented as it is in the family, and so on. So there are a lot of options here. Then, okay, this is the naming of model views. Then schedules, yeah, add as many schedules as you want. Select the templates. How do you want to, how should it look like? And then at the end, the sheets. So the sheet, give it a name, select the sheet template, the title block, and then create your assemblies, right? So the sheet template, actually, I have the template project. So I have a template project in this location. And in template project, let me, come on, how many families did I open? No, not this one. Let me do that again. Okay, this is my template project. So in template project, I have created a couple of assemblies with the drawings. So in the next project, I want to use this sheet as a template. So I select this sheet to be my template. And then in this project, when I try to create, say, oh, okay, this one is not the same size. So I will select a couple of elements and click on Create Assemblies. Okay, it will give me an option to select the configuration which I want to use. So I want to use this configuration and create assemblies from that. So now it will use that sheet template in the template project, and it will place the views in the same order as in the template project. So actually this sheet could be in this file or in the template project, so it doesn't matter. It's just more time saving to have a template project. Okay, let's see. So what it does now, it just takes all the details. Okay, some of assemblies are the same, probably. So what it does, it takes all the details. It creates separate assemblies. It takes all the details, hosted details, into assembly automatically. I selected to insert gravity point, so this one is gravity point. Then let's take a look to the assembly, actually PC12. Okay, so this is my assembly. If I will go there, you will see that the views are placed in the same order as in the template project. So it places automatic dimensions just based on my rules. It places schedules, it places legends as it is in my template project. If I will Okay, this is the other one. Yes, so the same orientation of the views, but of course the dimensions varies depends on the element. So let me just maybe show you another one. Let's say the beam. So if I select that and create assembly, and create, okay, I need to select actually different configuration and create assembly. So I'll just select one of them. Okay, so it will take, again, the hosted details, it will place dimensions, and it will place the views on the sheet as it is in template project or template sheet. Okay, so I'll select this one, PB7. Okay, this is the sheet. Okay, so again, I have some dimensions for my elements. I have some nodes which I selected to be represented. So I have my openings, dimensions, and so on. So different kind of layout, just as I want it. And what else? So it has different modify update features, right? But it also has dynamic smart assemblies feature. So if I will turn it on, it works like this. Let me just okay, so now I have the managed assemblies. I can find the same type assemblies. So these two are PC12, but one of them have drawings and one of them don't have drawings. So I will just click on this one. So this one has drawings. So when I turn on the dynamic update, and now if I will try to insert some detail, okay, where is it? Okay, this one, let's say. So when I try to insert detail to the primary assembly, it will give me a question, what do you want to do? Do you want to update the drawings? Do you want to just recalculate? Or maybe you don't want to insert this detail. But I'll just click on no. It will recalculate the gravity point. And what additionally it will do, it will add this detail to all the secondary assemblies. So now, let's finish that. And you see now this one and this one, they are still the same and they have the same detail. So if I turn this off, it will be just standard Revit way, right? So when you create this detail, when you edit, you just have different type name of assembly, and that's it. You lost the drawings and no update was made. So maybe you want to add reinforcement or some details to the same type of assembly, so you can save some time by using dynamic update feature. And okay, I think it's enough. Maybe I can just show you a couple of examples with smart assemblies. Yeah, this different project. When do I have actually? Yeah, we have reinforcement column, right? So I can make some automatic dimensions for reinforcement. Then do I have a beam? Probably, yeah. So yes, I have a beam also with reinforcement. So some automatic dimensions for the reinforcement, and it could be, of course, applied for different kind of elements, just for the walls, for the beams, and so on. So it could be like this for all the elements you see in this project. So okay, what do we have in these slides? Yeah, you can take the free trial. You can download this Tools for BIM doc from our website. Just go there, download it, select your version, fill the form for the trial of the selected tool, and then if you have questions, contact me and so on. So have a good day and bye-bye.